Moment of truth. Let's use our fancy key fob to unlock the car. That's the lock button. What's up YouTube, Pragmatic Pete here, and today we got a project to work on. Right now, the Acura is right here. We got catastrophic idler pulley failure on that, and we're waiting on some parts from the dealer. So we have a treat in store for you, and I'm super excited about this because I've had this in my garage, or in my driveway for 3 weeks, and I've just been waiting until the time was right to do the recording. And so we have a 2001 Dodge Ram 1500 V8 5.2, and honestly, that is all I know about this truck. I know that it doesn't run. I know that it has major transmission issues, and I know that somebody stabbed some holes in the gas tank. Other than that, I have stayed away from it, and we're gonna take a look at it for the first time and see what all's wrong with it. Alright, and it is a beautiful day in Oklahoma. The forecast was 110 degrees earlier this week, and fortunately we got a little bit of shade and some clouds. So let's take a look at this truck. It is it's in rough shape. I know that, I can tell that just by looking at it. Clear coat is fading. Looks like we do have an aftermarket hood. Let's back that camera out. We do have an aftermarket hood. Headlights are a little yellowed. I think we would expect that from any car. I know these tires are probably pretty old. See if I can find a date on them. Maybe. Looks like right here we have the 25th week of 2003. That is 16-year-old tires. Those are nice. So let's take a nice look around the truck. Overall, it's a nice looking truck. It needs some paint or a wrap or something, but call me crazy, I think this truck is beautiful. Nice look around it. Here's our walkthrough. It's very windy, guys. I'm trying to take care of that, but not a whole lot I can do about the wind. It's got these nice step sides. They're cool. This is super loose. Okay, so it's missing some bolts. Looks like it's clearly missing a bolt there. I probably shouldn't be able to move that. I wonder if the other side's like that. Let's take a look. It's a Ram. See, this is a step side, or is that what these are called? Okay, this side's much more sturdy. Got a little bit of maybe some rust in the back, but that's not too bad. All right, so let's take a look at the bed. Bed looks good. You know, it's a little worn down, but it's the bed of a truck. What do you expect? All right, let's open her up and see what's going on inside. Oh, it was unlocked. All right. It's dirty. Nothing vacuuming won't clean. Oh, I don't think we're gonna vacuum that dashboard. Look at that. I've always heard that Dodge trucks have terrible cracking issues in the dash. Looks like missing a panel. What is this wiring? Oh, that's nice. We got some I'm guessing that's for a radio or something. We got something wired to a fuse. At least they use a zip tie, you know, so it's professional. So we'll definitely be fixing that. Other than that, interior doesn't look too bad. Oh man, the radio's missing. Dang. Got a broken knob here. I don't know if the AC works. I know it doesn't start right now. I don't know why. I haven't even tried starting it. I was just told it doesn't. Okay, no power. So either the battery's completely dead or it's not there. I don't know what this switch does. Maybe if I flick it a bunch, something will happen. Nope. All right. All right. So let's pop the hood. Hood latch works. That's a good sign. At least something works. Don't fight me. There we go. All right, the hydraulics in the hood still work. That's pretty good. So what are we looking at here? Well, there's your problem. What do you know? What if it just needs a battery? Okay, where's the negative terminal? We have our positive here. No battery tray, no battery. Here's our negative wire, and that seems really small for a negative or ground. Oh, well, there's your problem. This is completely split from the ground. Okay, so we'll definitely have to buy a splice kit and splice this, replace this terminal. That's not that big of a deal. Obviously, we got to get a battery in here. No problem there. Look at the engine. That's what everybody cares about. This is a 5.2. I guess there's a 5.9 of the same model, but this is 5.2 is not too bad. Spark plugs are fairly visible. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 back there. Looks like we got a little bit of an oil leak around the valve cover. Maybe nothing too major. Let's see if it has any brake fluid in it. I can't tell, the reservoir's so dirty. There's some in there. It ain't pretty though. See if I have any coolant in here. Come on. Bone dry. Bone dry. That's all right. We'll put some water in there for now before we try to start it. I can get this cap back on. Check the reservoir. I don't see anything. I'm gonna pop this off. Nothing. Okay, there's absolutely zero coolant in this vehicle. We'll just run some distilled water through it for the time being, see how that goes. Let's look at this side of the engine. Okay, that's interesting. You got a that blue or that green writing on there. That tells me that that was a salvage part. Probably came from a junkyard. We got a hose that's just not connected to anything here. Can y'all see that? Okay, where does that run to? Looks like that runs up to our heater core. Okay, I'm not sure if y'all can see that, but there's a second outlet right there that's just completely missing, so I'll have to look up where that's supposed to be hooked up to. This is super loose, our air filter. PCV valves completely disconnected. It's split, so I'll have to get a new hose for that. Shouldn't be too crazy. You might just be able to cut this and fit it back on there. Let's check out the air filter. It's already off. Okay. Well, that's probably why. Look at that, no air filter. All right. We're in for a treat, you guys. The belt looks okay. But I'll tell you what, even with all these issues, we're gonna get this car started, this truck, excuse me. We're gonna get this truck started today. All right, so we know right off the bat, this truck has a lot of issues, some of which can be, you can live without fixing certain things. You can't live without fixing other things. So right off the bat, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some water in it, some coolant. We're just gonna use some cheap distilled water. Right now, I'm not too interested in spending a lot of money on this because I want to make sure it's actually going to run, and then I'll spend more money on it doing the right thing. So we're going to throw some water in it. We're going to go grab a battery. We'll put some spark plugs and some fogging oil in the spark plug holes because it's been sitting for 4+ years, and we'll have to fix that ground splice, and then we'll see if it starts. All right, so first things first, we grabbed a few things. We got a splice kit. We just went to our local Autozone down the street. Got a splice kit for that battery terminal because we aren't going to be able to ground out the engine without fixing that terminal. It just broke off. I've never seen that one before. We're going to be just using a basic pair of lineman pliers. We're going to chop off what's left of that terminal and then just splice it right in. Hopefully that should work just fine. And then of course we picked up the finest battery that $99 can buy. It's a Valucraft. It's like 810 cold cranking amps. Should be plenty to get the battery, or at least to see if the truck has power. So let's get that started. All right, so I'm gonna cut this away. See if I can separate this sheathing here. Alright, we got plenty of slack here, so I'm just going to cut right here. Looks like there's a plastic sheathing on here, so we're going to cut that off too so we can get proper contact. Hey, beautiful. That looks a heck of a lot better than it did a minute ago. We'll grab this other ground. We're going to do the same thing. For this, I might have some strippers. That will work. Easy peasy. All right. Get our trash out of the engine bay. Okay, we got our two wires here. We're gonna pinch these together. In fact, I might actually probably solder these together, and then we will connect them with that new splice kit. Well, it looks like the folks at AutoZone are already a step ahead of me. They got this extra splice right here for your ground wire, so that's easy enough. So we're gonna run our ground, which is right here to the frame, run that in there. I noticed, looks like this is, I cut it a little long, so we're gonna throw an extra butt connector on there to keep that insulated. Then we'll run electrical tape through the whole thing, and then we will grab our other ground and shove it in there and crank it down until it's tight. We should be good to go on that. Should be real simple. I'm not a huge fan of these splice connections, but I think it'll do. Well, that didn't work at all, did it? All right, let's find another solution. All right, so you can see here I've just kind of crammed it in there for now. I'm gonna go grab my solder gun and we'll solder this connection right here to make sure that it's super tight. And while we wait for our soldering iron to hit a cool 450 degrees Celsius, let's talk about a couple things why I like doing this job. One, I know the lady who gave me this, she didn't give me the truck. I lied to you guys, it's clickbait, I'm sorry. She gave me the truck to help her fix it because it's been sitting for 5 years and she can't drive it because she can't afford to have it fixed. So I'm helping somebody out, a good person, and that makes me happy. Two, I'm restoring this truck. I'm going to restore this truck to running driving because you know, vehicles are meant to be driven. They're not meant to sit in garages or sit in driveways rotting. So we're going to restore this thing to its former beauty to an extent. Number three, if we have a very tight budget on this, $500 is what I was given to get this truck up and running. So that is a challenge to me. I love a challenge, and also I love being cheap. So you know, that's two things right now. This is a project that I very much enjoy doing, and I thought you guys might enjoy watching it. So we'll wait for the soldering iron to heat up and we'll get to work. All right, that's the end of our solder. Is it pretty? No. Is it ugly? Yes. Is it secure? Absolutely not. So we're gonna do this again. I'm not a huge fan of these splice connections. All right, so we're gonna mate these two as best as we can, and then we will solder them together. And guys, I know it's not gonna be a beautiful solder. I'm not a beautiful solderer. I just don't have the skills. But that made things worse. Me and this solder got a lot in common. We're ugly, but we work. Nice and tight. All right, so we'll just hide our shame here. There we go. That's the true reason these heat protective shields were invented. We'll grab our lighter and try to heat this up since it's super windy. Recommend using a heat gun, not a lighter. Well, a lighter will do. Perfect. I mean, far from perfect, but acceptable. All right, so that was the hard part. The easy part is just to connect that other part with the other end of this ground. Okay, so we got our exposed ground here. All we have to do is grab this and included Allen wrench. And I got to say, this is a pretty nice design by the folks at Autozone. You just unscrew, cram it in there, tighten it as much as you can. Cool deal. Okay, we'll slide our protective cover over that. Keep any rain or anything from getting directly on it. Should be good. We'll do the same over here. And there we have it. We have repaired our ground. So let's hook up a battery. Oh wait, I kind of forgot something. Our other terminal. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this, and we'll splice it into here as well. Shouldn't be too hard. Beautiful. Now let's hook up our new battery. And of course our battery terminal tool doesn't fit either one of these. I've yet to find a single terminal that this thing does fit. Kind of wonder why I bought it. All right, let's tighten this thing up. Now there was good news when I touched the wire to the battery. I heard a click. Sounds like we may have power.